Okay, so let's go over a coin and go through this fundamental analysis framework to see what we think of it. In this case, let's check Binance Coin, one of my favorite coins. So let's check it out first on Coin Market Cap. Binance Coin is the 16th on the market cap list, is worth $1 billion, trades at $11.38 at the time of making this video. So it's ranked 16, like we said, does about $17 million in trading volume. The circulating supply is about 100 million Binance coins. The total max supply is 200 million. Okay, and this is basically the price for the last year. It's just been a year that it existed. Again, you see that when it started, the coin in August 2017, so about a year ago, it started at 11 cents. Skyrocketed up to $1 from 11 cents. So that's 10 times, right? Then by the end of the year, went up to 25 bucks. So from 10 cents to 25 bucks, $25 divided by 10 cents, you would have done 250 times your money. So if you put in $1,000, just 1,000, you would have made 250. Okay, that is crazy returns, right? Crazy returns. That's with $1,000. So 4,000 would have yielded $1 million. That's ridiculous. I didn't even know it went up so much from its initial offering. So we've got some of it probably around the dollar range. But still, didn't get it at 10 cents. I know a few guys, Elias, I think, got it at 11 cents. Yeah, that's crazy. And now it's around that price. So even though the market had its huge crash in 2018, it stayed relatively, it kept a lot of its value, which is pretty good, when you're looking at a coin like that. So very nice coin. Now, what do they do? Let's check the website out. So we go on Binance. First thing is we gotta check the, first off, well, you've probably, before checking the coin itself, you've probably already know something about it, right? So you're not going to check the white paper as the first, it's not the first thing that you're going to be doing, checking the white paper. The first thing is you probably heard of the project, and you'll be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's a good project. So Binance is an exchange that we're trading on. And when I started trading on Binance, I saw that they were offering people who used Binance coins to pay for the fees a rebate. So you would pay less if you were paying with Binance coin instead of paying with dollars or something else. So I was like, you know what? I trade a lot. I'm gonna use Binance coins. So I bought some Binance coins just to use them to pay for the fees. And I'm like, hey, let me read more about this, because if all the traders like me are buying Binance coin to pay for their fees, that's going to push the price of Binance coin up. So there's a good utility here. Let me go and check that white paper. So again, so that's how you go to that, checking the white paper, because you like the project first. So let's just Binance white paper. I guess that page was disconnected. So Binance resources white paper. So here's the white paper. So you go through the white paper, it's 17 pages, and they have basically the problem, right? They're starting with the problem. Then they're saying what the Binance exchange is, what the revenue model is. So Binance coin, what is the value and the repurchasing plan, how much of the team is getting, the funding usage, and then the team and risks. So what is Binance coin? In our view, there are fundamentally two different types of exchanges. The ones that deal with fiat currency and the ones that deal with purely in crypto. It is the latter one that we will focus on, even though they are small now, because at that time they were small, now they are bigger. They're the biggest. We strongly believe that pure crypto exchanges will be bigger, many times bigger than fiat-based exchanges in the near future. And they were right. They will play an even more important role in the world of finance, and we call this new paradigm. Paradigm? I don't know how you say that. Paradigm. Paradigm. Guys, excuse my English. It's my third language. Binance, binary finance. Okay, so with your help, Binance will build a world-class crypto exchange powering the future of crypto finance. So let's zoom it up a bit. Okay, so the problem with exchanges is that they have poor technical architecture and they're insecure and they have poor market liquidity. Now, I've been in the trading business for almost 10 years and I've seen exchanges. And when I looked at crypto exchanges when I started, I saw that a lot of exchanges were really bad. Just the way the platform looked. And when there was a lot of volume, a lot of trading, they would really slow down. So I knew, being in the stock market for so long, that when there's a lot of volume and you need your exchange to be very quick so you can buy and sell without interruption, is the time when you need it the most, that these systems will crash because there's too much traffic. And I saw other exchanges be super slow, but Binance wasn't. So, it's something that is important. And they're already talking about that as that being the problem, right? They're not ignoring it and not even talking about this issue, because if somebody is building a platform for something, you want them to address the issues of that platform and to have something that resolves it, right? So they're saying basically our team has decades of combined experience building and maintaining world-class financial systems that shape the economy. And that is true. And this is why that worked out pretty well, because this team already has done exchanges for other assets in Asia, for other financial markets. They've built exchanges. So poor customer service. It's true, there's really no customer service in cryptos. And then some exchanges like QB and all these exchanges, they only speak, Mandarin, for example. At one point, we had an account with QB, and somebody else who was speaking Mandarin had to be with me so I can talk with one of the representatives. And they're not doing that. So Binance Exchange, they have a matching engine that's capable of sustaining 1.4 million orders per second, making Binance one of the fastest exchanges in the market today. You can be certain on our exchange that your order will never be stuck due to the matching engine being overwhelmed. Amazing. The rollouts, they want to have spot trading, which we have. Then they want to have margin trading, futures, and other things that they add. The coins that they want to be able to trade on was Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then they wanted Binance Coin and Litecoin and Neo. These ones didn't work out, but they kept these and USDT. But that's, again, and they had that. But they don't want to have actual fiat. They have USDT, which is not US dollars. It's a fiat it's a coin that mimics USD. So device coverage, this is the platform that you're going to be using at. And then you had a user interface. So whenever a coin launches for the first time and they have their ICO, which is the same thing as an IPO, but for coins. So it's an initial coin offering. IPO is the initial public offering for stocks, like when Facebook comes out or whatever, Snapchat, and they sell for the first time. It's the same thing. We didn't go through ICOs in this course because I actually don't want you to invest through ICOs. If you want to invest in something after they've ICO'd, that's cool, because there's just too much risk in the current landscape to invest in ICO early stages. And again, this course is about investment and a lot of other things where we're doing rebalancing and a lot of this other stuff. But, and again, for us, we've always wait until a company or a coin basically goes live. And then a lot of times people who bought at ICO, they're just dumping it because they got it at a huge discount, and you can actually get it at a cheaper price after that. So, why buy it at that time when you can buy it after it actually launches and get it at a better price when everybody's dumping? Because you're going to have people who get the coin at 50% off or even more in private placements that you can't even get, huge discounts. So as soon as the coin goes live, they're just dumping it because they're dumping it double profit. So if you got it at that price, you're going to be losing right away. Might as well wait, catch that dump. And a lot of times when these coins also ICO, there's a dead time, because not all of them, some of them, depending on their, white paper, some of them, they would be like, in the first year, we're just working on the project, there's nothing. So they die off for a long time, and then the price starts going up when they actually start doing something. Anyways, back to this revenue model. How are they making money? Through exchange fees. So they're going to be charging people fees. Withdrawal fees, when people withdraw, they're going to be charging fee. Listing fees, when a coin wants to be on their exchange. Margin fees and other fees maybe. Now, Binance Coin. So this has to be in every white paper. We will issue our token coin called the Binance Coin. A strict limit of 200 million Binance coins will be created, never to be increased. Binance Coin will run natively on the Ethereum blockchain with ERC20. So here, already in the white paper, we're going over a bunch of these things, right? We're going over the project. We're going over, the roadmap. We're going over, how many coins there are. A bunch of these things we're going to be going over by looking at the white paper. So the security, it's on the ERC20 protocol, so it's on the Ethereum blockchain, very secure, right? I trust that. The allocation, so they're selling 100 million at ICO. The founding team is getting 80 million, and angel investors are getting 20 million. Now, to be honest, with other coins, I never like saying something like this. This is too big, okay? Usually, the team is not going to get 40% of the whole project, okay? They get way less, okay? They get something between 15, 10, if it starts going 25, 30, I start questioning, this whole project. Why does the team want so much of the coin? They should keep a bit of it. That's their pay for building something great. And the rest goes out to build the project, not for them, right? If that project is so good, they should get a smaller piece, and they'll make money by the project being so valuable. So I don't like that. But it is true that their team is super big, and their team has huge experience. So in that case, it has been warranted. What can I say? The project is so good that, I close my eyes a bit in this situation. But it is something that you have to see, and this is not something that's usual. It's very high. The ICO will be on in BTC and Ethereum, so that's for the ICO and how you can subscribe. Now, the BNB value and repurchasing plan. So you can use BNB to pay for any fees on our platform, including but not limited to these things. And then what they said is on the first year, you get a 50% discount when you're using Binance Coin. So it's like you're paying half the fees. So everybody was going to buy Binance Coin to pay their fees there. Second year, which that's where we're at now, you get a 25% discount. So for sure, we're still on it. We're always going to use it until the fifth year. Every quarter, and this is what they're saying. They're saying every quarter we will use 20% of our profits to buy back some Binance Coin and destroy them. Literally destroy them. Until we buy 50% of all the Binance Coin. 100 million back. All buyback transactions will be announced on the blockchain. We eventually will destroy 100 million Binance, leaving only 100 million Binance Coin remaining. So what they're doing is actually using their profits to buy back these coins. So it's like they funded the project through this, and they're using that. Not only are people buying it to pay for their fees, but they're also using their profits to buy it back and to destroy it completely. And they actually, I think it's on Twitter or on YouTube, that the founder comes out and he basically burns the coins. He shows the coins there, and there's a process that you can do where you burn the coins so they don't exist ever again. So it's like burning cash, and that's what he's done, right? So they stuck up to that, and that's what you call a token burn or a coin burn, which reduces the total amount of supply. Decentralized exchanges. They think that in the future, so they're saying Binance will build a decentralized exchange where Binance Coin will be used as one of the key base assets as well as gas to be spent. So basically what they're saying is they've created this exchange, but this is still a centralized exchange. Meaning what? Meaning when you open an account there, you're sending money to their wallet. You're sending the coins to their wallet. Now they have an account where they have your name and how much coins you own, but they're keeping track of it. But they actually have access to your coins. You can't spend your coins. It's on their exchange. If they get hacked or something happens, you might lose your coins. Again, they're very secure, meaning that they keep a lot of the coins off in cold storage and a bunch of stuff. But again, there is this thing about decentralized exchanges where there's an exchange that's an actual coin. It's decentralized. There's no central entity. So you keep your coin, and when you're not sending it to a company, a centralized location, what you're actually doing is the platform permits you to buy and sell with other people directly, and the coins are swapped. So you can buy and sell one coin for another in a decentralized fashion without ever storing your coins somewhere else. So Binance is actually creating a decentralized exchange. Now, decentralized exchanges that exist now are very illiquid. There's not a lot of people who want to buy and sell there because there's not a lot of activity. But it is, everybody knows that it is the future, and we are going there at one point, and they're already, and that's part of their plan. So great. How they're getting the coins for their team? They're getting about 20% every year. Great. Funds, how they're using the funds: 15% to build the platform and all of that stuff, 50% for branding, marketing, promotion, education, a bunch of other stuff, and then they're keeping 15% in reserve for emergency situations. Great. So Binance never really got hacked, but at one point there was people who, when you have an account, you can have a API key in a way. So if you have a trading robot, you can give access to your trading robot to trade, something that we use. Or if you have another platform that connects to Binance, somebody hacked those keys. And what that person did is he was able to use the keys to trade in other people's accounts, and he bought a very sketchy coin. And he just bought it, pushed it up very high, because in his personal account he had already owned it, and he pushed it up high with all these accounts and sold it to them at a huge price, and then it spiked back down. So all these accounts lost money, and then that person transferred away his money and made some money, right? Now, so they didn't get hacked. It's actually the people who had the keys that didn't secure them properly, and they were the people who got hacked. So it's not even Binance. It's somebody else who didn't secure properly their things. And you know what? Binance reimbursed everybody. I actually have a friend who was affected by that, and when he logged into his account, he actually received a bit more than what he had lost. And they responded extremely quickly. It was crazy. So they actually are using this appropriately. And again, there is, the actual exchange, right, when you compare it to other ones, is extremely well, right? And that comes to show how when you actually have a good project, a good team, and a good of all of these things, profits, you do make the profits. And you've seen here, right, what happened with this coin. $1,000 would have turned 200, a quarter of a million. 4,000 would have yielded $1 million. That's crazy. That's crazy. Not all the coins did stuff like that. Well, why? Because not all the coins are as good. Right? Not all the coins are as good. So you can see the difference between a really good coin, that the performance will be very different than a not so good coin. So, Changpeng Zhao, CZ. Always call him CZ because that's how he calls himself on Twitter, and because I never remember. But this guy is amazing. And he was on the cover as being, one of the crypto billionaires that, went up like this because of Binance Coin. So he was the founder and CEO of BG Tech, a company that provides cloud-based exchange systems to exchange operators. And since founding in September 2015, BG Tech now powers 30 plus exchanges in Asia. So it's not like the guy came out with a random idea that he's going to make a crypto about something else. He has experience in this. He's great at this. He has a company already doing this. He's a pretty smart guy. Having a cloud-based exchange system, that's ridiculous, right? So you have to put money, you have to back people like that. These are the type of people you want to back, not some of these other guys that we're going to look at. And you can go on his LinkedIn profile, but then there's the rest of the team as well. And all his team is legit, right? He brought other people from the company where he worked at that are legit, right? VP of Engineering, responsible for C++ implementation of the core machine engine, 15 experience in developing exchange systems and financial trading applications. I've seen companies or ICOs, coins, where when you went on the team page, I saw guys who are like, and it's no offense to younger people because, Vitalik, who founded Ethereum, founded it when he was 19 years old. But some other, teams I saw, 22s, 23-year-olds, and when I look at their profiles, there's nothing. Literally no experience in anything. Like the last job the person had was working in a subway, and then he's part of a team that's launching a coin. Don't back that up. You can't do that. So this is a strong team. And then you can go through their profile. You can actually, and it's not sufficient, actually Google the person and see if there's any bad things about them. Now, investors and advisors, they had some investors, and then you can see that these investors, here they have Roger Ver. Again, even though I don't like this guy, he's investing in a lot of crypto projects, so he's everywhere. But he's an investor. And you have all these other investors. So here, Jandu, co-founder of UB, which is an exchange, an Asian exchange as well. So when you have an Asian exchange that's investing in another competing exchange, is because it's going to be good, right? So you have a bunch of big investors as well. All in all, very robust white paper. Risks. There are many risks involved in running an exchange. We understand this and have the skills, experience, and leadership to overcome them. Security, great. And I love this part here. It says market competition. We know this will be an ultra competitive space. Good, they're aware of what it is. There are probably hundreds, if not thousands of teams wanting, planning, or doing exchanges. And that's so great, because a lot of these other people, they come out and they're like, we're doing this because we're doing it the best, and they're actually not the best. This guy is aware of how competitive it is. Competition will be fierce. That's what you want to see. But in this age, this is a common risk in any decent concept startup or mature company. The question is, given our team, which their team is great, our track record is great, experience is great, industry resources, they're connected, they've done everything, and products, do you believe that we stand a better chance than the rest of the pack? If yes, please join our ICO. And you've said it better. Do you believe that we'll do better than other people? And that's at the end of the day, right? That's the question you have to answer. Do I invest in this coin or another coin? Because there's multiple coins trying to achieve the same thing. All right. So let's see what we've looked at. So the project is basically, they have an exchange. You use the coins to pay for your fees. So there's a utility, right? There's a utility, so there's earnings there. You have to use it, you have to buy it to pay for something, so you pay something with it. And not only that, but they're also buying it back and burning it. And not only that, but they're also planning on doing a decentralized exchange as they finish with implementing this one. So they still have additions to this one where they add margin and add other stuff. But they're also going to have a decentralized exchange. Now, not only that, I use Binance, right? I use Binance. If I, just on, I think my Binance exchanges, Coinigy, I'll go over later, but it's where's my phone here? It's a website that you can use to log into multiple exchanges. Okay. It's a website that you can use to log into multiple exchanges at the same time. And I use it to log in to my Binance account because I have several Binance accounts. Sorry, so this is the Google Authenticator. Let's just log in real quick. Okay, so and when I can check my account here. If I go in balances, here I have 3 different Binance accounts that I use. So there's this Binance account. This one has about $42,000. This is the one that I think we've used. There's probably the Ethereum there. Yeah, so this is the Ethereum that we've moved in there, the 0.71. We moved there a few lectures away. It's still here. I haven't used it yet. Uh, and I guess here, yeah, we can order them by value because some of them I have very small quantities that you can barely see. But then I have other Binance accounts. I have another Binance account here that has about 9,200 in it. And I have another Binance account here that has about 170,000. So just in my Binance accounts, I really trust Binance, even though you should not keep a lot of coins on the exchanges. But all in all, I use Binance and I use the platform and I saw how valuable and how robust and how good the platform was. So it also comes from that when you want to invest in a coin is you have to, if they do have a product, you have to use it. You have to test it out and you have to use competitors. We have exchanges. We have accounts with 12 different exchanges. So we have accounts with Binance, with Bitfinex, with a bunch of different location, with a bunch of different exchanges, about 12 different exchanges, and separated between sub accounts and whatnot, because we do a lot of automated trading and robot trading, which things are automated. Everything is super secure. So, like even now we're connected to these exchanges through keys. These keys cannot transfer funds, they can just trade. But even that, there's a lot of security that we're doing to mitigate any losses and stuff like that. But all in all, okay, it is a coin. It is something that I've used extensively, and then that's what led me to be like, okay, well, I want to invest in that coin. So, team, extremely good. White paper, roadmap, everything, laid out, and they did, implement the things that they said they were going to implement. Community, amazing community. A lot of people say good things about Binance Coin all the time in all the groups. Public interest and adoption. More and more people get into trading. Like us, we're a trading firm. We use more and more of this coin, and we know other firms who are coming in there, so they're using more and more, more and more Binance coins to pay for their fees. Security, very secure. Earnings, there is a true utility there, and the more people use it, the more they have to actually buy it to pay for their fees, and there's more demand for it. So that one has been a great coin, and for our portfolio, and that's really the process that we go through when we're looking at the fundamentals here. And this is the same process that you should go through with any coin. Find an idea, a project that you like, start reading the white paper, and go from there. It has a platform. Go check it out. See the past of the team, all that stuff. And if it fills pretty much these criterias, you're good to go. All right. So that being said, let's just jump into the next lecture.